So this is footage from when I first received the lens after the first repair, and essentially what they had to do was change the autofocus motor and the aperture ring, which was deformed and didn't work. And right here it's in click mode, it should be working properly, but I'm noticing that from f16 to A there isn't hard stops. There shouldn't be any of movement right there. There should be stops, allowing you to keep it on A or F16, and this constitutes a big problem when you're shooting because unintentionally you could move it from whatever value you have on your camera to F16, just ruining your shot. Now another thing that I can notice is that the manual focus ring has a bit of a screeching sound. It's quite deformed, so I had to send it back, very disappointed, and they had to repair it once again, adding to the cost with the shipment, the repair, so just a lot of work. So guys, this is my 35 G Master lens, which is returned from repairs. Let's hope this time it is completely functional. The clips that you saw before this one were a couple of weeks ago when I received the lens and it wasn't completely repaired, so I had to send it back and make sure they find out all those details because they promised that it would be in perfect conditions just like new, and it wasn't, so I had to send it back. And let's hope this time the aperture ring works, the manual focus ring also doesn't have that screeching sound. But anyway, now these couple of weeks that this lens has been gone in repairs, I've been thinking a lot about the quality of gear. Do you actually need the highest end lenses, the highest end camera to fulfill your work? I think not, guys, in most of the cases. Now, this will differ or depend on the work that you do. Maybe you're a freelance photographer, maybe you do portraits, maybe you do wedding photography and videography. In that case, maybe I would recommend high-end lenses. But for me, for example, I only shoot for Instagram, for YouTube, and maybe sometimes I like to print my work in large scale for a gift or to have in my house. That's where I take most advantage on the quality of my lenses. But in general, maybe you in Instagram you wouldn't even notice if I shot my images with maybe a Samyang or a Tamron lens, or and the difference to a Sony. They would look basically the same because of the compression on social media. So today's gonna be a very casual talk, guys, just about that. Before that, I'm just gonna unpack this and let's see if it's repaired and it works perfectly. Okay, spare parts, maybe the broken parts actually. What a mess, look at this. Moment of truth, let's see if the errors have been erased and corrected. So guys, I'm ashamed to say that I have to return this lens to be repaired again for a third time, just because, yeah, they did fix some of the issues, but other ones have appeared. For example, right here, as you can see, the aperture ring is right now on click, and you can see that it wobbles just a bit between stops. Right now it's wobbling in the f-stop. Right here, wobbles again. It just isn't very adjusted. It needs to be a bit more tight for it to work properly and don't have that movement. The other thing is that you can see this little line that separates the aperture ring from the base of the lens. You can see that it opens up a couple of millimeters, and that is just enough for some humidity or some water to creep in. Now this lens is supposed to be weather sealed. Now this may compromise that. So maybe I'm being a bit picky with the results from the repair, but they did advertise, or they did tell me that this lens would end up being just as brand new in that status, which is not. It has a lot of flaws right now. So I'm gonna try to return it, see if they can repair it. Maybe this is the best they could do, given the damage that was handed to this lens originally. But still, I'm just gonna make the effort to repair this one. It's quite a bummer because right now I'm planning a trip to Europe and I really wanted to take this lens with me, and in particular because this lens cost me $1,400, and well, that's a lot of money, plus another $1,000 for the repairs, which is just outrageous amount of money. But I didn't want this lens to go to waste. It should be working properly. It does work properly. The autofocus works properly, the aperture, everything works properly, minus this aperture ring, which is a bit flimsy. So answering the question, is it worth buying the highest quality of glass for your cameras? In my case, for my profession or line of work, it is not. Now I'm gonna go forward and I won't buy any more Sony G Master lenses unless I really need to. I'm gonna buy maybe the Sigmas. I really like Sigma lenses. For example, those that you see down here, those are Sigma lenses that I used to use with my APC sensor camera, and they're fantastic. And that one, the telephoto lens, is a Tamron. The one I'm shooting right now is a Tamron as well, and they work just perfect. They may not have all the buttons that the G Master has, or the little orange logo logo over here, but they work perfectly with my line of work. Now, why I'm saying that is because I upload all my work to social media, whether it be to Instagram or my videos to YouTube, and the loss of quality is it's outrageous. It really baffles me how people say, oh, it's incredible, what an incredible video, what an incredible photo, oh, the quality of your photo is fantastic, when I really know how the original file looked. Now, let me put you a little example on what I'm talking about. Now, here I have this image on Instagram of my little dog Lupita, and some people say that it's a beast of a photo with great results. Some people say it looks fantastic in Spanish, but just look at this. This is the original image. Now, let's zoom in to the Instagram photo, and let's zoom in something around the same lines to the original photo. I hope this translates to YouTube. Maybe the compression is acting up on me once again, but look how the tongue of my little dog is completely blurry in the Instagram photo, and over here we can see even the little lines inside we can see every single detail. Then the nose, look over here we have all this detail, even the nostrils have a little detail. Over here we have just a blurry black thing, and overall in general it's very blurry on Instagram. It looks like if it was shot with a 5 megapixel phone from the 2008, and this image is fantastic. So you will never see my original image unless I hand it to you personally or I print it out in very big image. All my files are compressed ridiculously on Instagram or in YouTube, and that's basically how they work, how social media works, so they can handle all the amounts of images and videos that are uploaded every single second. Now, another image, let's see another one. So here I have this set of images that I uploaded, but let's look at this image. This one is the same. Let's zoom in to the same part of the image, something like that. Look at the loss of quality. All these pixels over here, this noir effect, all this little meshes start to appear. And over here, yes, we have a little bit of grain, and that's because I shot with a high ISO because it was at night. But just look at this overall aberration that we're looking at down here. It's just horrible. Now, if we zoom just a little bit more to this image of the Abbey over here, once again, all these horrible greens start to appear, and over here, nothing. The image is a lot cleaner. Now move forward to another image, this one that people really liked at night. This is the original image, and if we zoom in immediately in this one, look at this horrible banding that's appeared over here in this image that I uploaded to Instagram. Now if we zoom in to the original one, no banding at all, unless YouTube is adding anything right now, but it's looking very smooth. This transition from dark blues to light blues all the way down to oranges, just beautiful. Now zoom in a lot more. This one has a very low pixel count, and the original image was shot with 33 megapixels. Look at the difference in quality and definition. So this is just a little example, guys, so you know how my original files actually look and how it's basically overkill to shoot with a 33 megapixel camera and upload your files to social media. Now this may not be the case for you guys, just because maybe your line of work isn't social media, but in my case it isn't worth having the highest megapixels or the sharpest lens if Instagram or YouTube is going to compress all my files. So that's a little note, just a little reflections for you guys to think about. Just think about if you really need maybe the flagship camera from Canon or from Sony, or if you really need the G Master lenses. Maybe you really don't, guys. You can get by with a simpler lens, less expensive, and therefore you don't have to invest so much in things that you're not going to get the best quality out of them. Now, I really like the quality of these files before I upload them to Instagram. I like to have them, maybe the files from this lens, I'll print them up in a big picture on my wall or something like that. So I am going to take advantage of this, but I'm not going to buy any more G Master lenses because for my line of work it's just not worth it. So guys, that's the video for today. Just a quick reflection on the importance of gear, and if it's really that important to get the highest quality lenses or highest quality cameras and invest so much in lenses. We get a lot of times carried away by these famous creators that promote their Canon brands like Peter McKinnon or Mati Hapuya, who has some of the best lenses for Sony. Maybe you really don't need all those things, guys. There are so many third-party brands with high quality. For example, I really like Tamron, Sigma, Samyang sometimes I like. All those companies produce high-quality lenses, maybe not as high quality of this one, although some of them are, as just pairing up to the level of the G Masters, for example, but that they're half the price or even less. So just there's a lot of options. Just don't get carried away with what some creators say. So guys, that's gonna be it for today, guys. Just a little quick reflection for you guys to think about. I'm Tony Fuentes. Cheers to all of you. See you in the next one.